For today's episode on the Pathmark Presents podcast, I have a very interesting guest. I'm here with Laura Meyer, who's the founder and CEO of Envision Horizons. And Envision Horizons is a leading e-commerce agency specializing in Amazon and Walmart. And we really want to know, who they're working for, how they're supporting their clients, and, a little bit about Laura's stories as well. So welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. As mentioned, Envision Horizons is an e-commerce agency. And when I started the firm, I was very focused on creating a solution to help brands make these large retailers work for them and their business goals, and making sure that those channels are profitable. So I created Envision Horizons a little over 4 years ago, and the company has evolved quite a bit. And it's been a volatile ride, like all entrepreneurship, but it's also been extremely rewarding.
Very cool. And maybe could you describe us a little bit, sort of, the people or the clients you're working with? Like, what would be a typical client? Like, what does their business look like? And, maybe tell us a little bit about it.
Yes, we work with clients of all sizes, everything from emerging brands to Fortune 500 companies. And we actually just started a new program where we're actually doing more project-based work, which are packages that are more affordable for emerging brands. When we were originally building the service side of the business, we were very focused on brands that were doing at least 2 million or more a year in online sales. But we do see a tremendous opportunity with the entrepreneurial spirit that's happening. There's a lot of really cool stuff and a lot of amazing new products coming to market. So we want to make sure that we have solutions for everyone and we can help everyone make Amazon and Walmart channels that are conducive to their business.
Very cool. Maybe you could tell me a little bit about the journey, because we're all about, journeys here at Pathmark. A little bit about the journey of somebody getting to know Envision Horizons and getting started. Like, what would be the typical channels, that they would, getting started with you guys?
Yeah, when it comes to working with us, how we typically evaluate our partnerships is if they're already selling on Amazon or Walmart, we typically offer a free or complimentary audit, because Amazon and Walmart and any e-commerce channel, it's very complex. And we like to have an idea of what we're working with first before we sign any form of contract, because it's very important to me and the integrity of my business that what we bring forth to them in terms of services is best for their business. And we're not just trying to fit our services so we can close the deal, right? So we do a complimentary audit. And then if they're not selling on the platform, we do an opportunity set, or we look at similar products so that we have some type of idea of what their potential is. And then from there, we present that plan of action to them. And it's very clear that this is what we're going to look to accomplish within the first 3 to 6 months of the partnership. And then as we continue the development of the relationship, we'll then adjust slightly what our focuses are, because what we focus on initially can be very different than what we are focusing on if we're working with a client, say 2, 3, 5 years from now.
Makes a lot of sense. What would you say, right? We talk in the Pathmark Presents podcast, obviously, a lot about the digital growth and the digital journeys, and the website very often plays a key role. What role do you attribute to your own website in, the journey of somebody getting started with Envision Horizons?
Yeah, I mean, right now, the journey is we have a submission form right on our website to see if they qualify for a free audit. But I think we're really, as a firm and as we are looking at our own growth, we're really doubling down on content this year. I launched a web series earlier this year called Common Mistakes, where they are 10-minute or less videos discussing common mistakes that brands make on Amazon or Walmart. And we're really pushing that and providing free information. Oftentimes it's things that we are common mistakes that we find when we do these audits or we're having these discussions with brands. So that I think is a huge opportunity for us in just getting our name out there and providing value, whether they work with us or not. I think it's very important that brands know what they're doing when it comes to selling on Amazon, because it's very easy to make mistakes and there isn't necessarily the support there to tell you if you are or if you are not doing it correctly.
Mm-hmm. Super interesting. Obviously for content marketing, the website, is sort of a function of it. Where do you see the strength of the current website? Obviously as a CEO and founder, you always have a critical eye, what's going on with the page somehow, right? Where do you see a strength of the page?
I mean, I'm a perfectionist, so I always think there's more room for improvement, but I do think we did a really good job with the initial landing page and making sure that we're calling out our accomplishments, we're calling out our credibility in terms of who we work with, the press features that we have had, and making sure that if they want to submit the form for the audit, they can do that right as soon as they land on our homepage.
Super interesting. And you mentioned you're a perfectionist there. Like, where do you see room for improvement? Like, where do you see the page evolving towards to?
Oh, yes. Well, so I think the big thing is later this year, we're actually releasing the software that we've had internally for our account managers, as well as our clients currently have logins. We are releasing it publicly, and we are migrating into more of a SaaS company. We will always have the consulting and management element to our business, but we've developed this great tech platform with various tools that help sellers sell on Amazon and, quite frankly, be more informed, because Amazon's reporting is not always the most straightforward. And I think that is where we have the largest room for improvement, is educating educating our audience on what our platform actually does and the true value proposition of that. And I do think that eventually we will have to clean up our messaging a little bit on the different services that we offer, now that we really have 3 buckets that we'll be pushing actively once the software launches.
Interesting. Could you give us a sneak preview? Like, what would be the competitive advantage somebody can be getting when, using your technology?
Yes, I think there's 3 main benefits. So the first is that it will have very intuitive, visual, and holistic reporting. When dealing with Amazon and especially Walmart's reporting, it can be very manual and time consuming to see certain data points that as marketers and as business owners, you want to see. So a report that could take you hours to pull using Amazon's own user interface can now be produced within a matter of seconds within our dashboard. We also have some custom metrics that Amazon doesn't report on that as marketers we want to keep an eye on, such as the lifetime value of your consumer, what the average, what we call subscription rate is between the time of the first purchase versus the second purchase. The second main value proposition of our platform is our bid adjusting algorithms. So advertising on Amazon, it is definitely a pay to play platform now. You can't just throw up pages and hope that the product's going to sell. You have to invest marketing dollars. And we have developed our own proprietary algorithms that perform incredibly, in my opinion. I actually ran some numbers this week, and we found that our clients that had historic advertising running, within the first 90 days of being on our platform, their ad revenues increased by 83%, and their efficiency, or what Amazon calls their ACoS, was reduced by 30%. So they're getting a lot more return on their investment with these algorithms running. And then I think the third and final thing is just our reporting is truly designed for business decisions. So we focus on reporting what your true profitability is, what your profitability is by product, so that you can decide maybe this is the product we should discontinue on Amazon, or we should bundle it so that we can actually be making money and not just Amazon or Walmart making money.
Makes a lot of sense. Very cool. I would love to switch gears a little bit, right, and learn about you personally and your journey as to, now heading up the company. At first, I would like to know, right, being busy, leading a team, how do you educate yourself? Like, what are the platforms where you turn in order to learn, and how do you filter what you want to read?
Yes, I've become a LinkedIn addict probably in the last year, since quarantine's really adjusted our entire lifestyles. I used to go to a lot of lunch and learns, networking events in New York City when the world was open. And that was a great way to educate myself. I'm very into peer-to-peer learning from other business owners. There's obviously amazing articles and books that you can read, but I was very big into audiobooks living in Manhattan, walking to and from my office. But then I kind of got to a point where all the self-help books kind of have the same underlying theme. And so I was learning a lot in person. Now things have shifted, and I am now trying to be more proactive in some of these virtual communities. I had a baby 4 months ago, so
Congrats.
I was a little off the grid for a while. So now I'm back, and it does feel good to be a little more social once again.
Cool. Yeah. Congrats at first for the newborn.
Yeah, thank you.
Very good. So, since we actually want to also, learn more about you, and so how you make decisions about the business, I would love to jump into our rapid fire questions. Are you ready for those?
Okay. All right, let's see how I do.
What's the last book that you read?
The last book, so right now my company, we have a book club. So I'm currently rereading the Dale Carnegie classic, How to Win Friends and Influence People. But before that, I was reading, I'm blanking on the name of it.
You can come back to it. You already threw in one. That's good.
Okay.
Very good. What's the one single thing that your company is focused on the most at the moment?
Hiring, finding really good people. That's a huge focus.
If there would be no boundaries in technology, what's the one thing that you would want to have fixed for the company today?
I mean, I want to know exactly what Amazon's A9 algorithm is. That would be the golden ticket, right?
What is the last thing that kept you awake at night about the company?
Well, I think honestly, it goes back to hiring. I continue to really think about how can we continue to attract the best, retain the best, and build our current team and culture.
And if today would be your very first day, right? So we're zooming back a couple of years. Today would be your very first day you're working on Envision Horizons. You're just getting started. What's the one advice you would give yourself?
Fire pain in the ass clients a lot faster. Sorry, can I swear?
You can. Once per episode. So you just used it right now.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, I think that was a big learning for me. Was initially I came out and I wanted to please everyone. And if I do that, there's always going to be people out there that take advantage. And then they pull me away from actually growing my business. And that's not really beneficial for anyone.
Yeah, makes a whole lot of sense. Laura, I really appreciate that you took the time to be a guest on Pathmark Presents with us today. I want to give you the very last word. If somebody would be forgetting everything that we discussed today about the company, what's the one thing that they should remember about Envision Horizons?
I think the one thing to remember is that if you are exploring Amazon or Walmart as a channel for your business, or you're evaluating e-commerce as a channel, I'm always happy to chat and discuss best practices. So you can always get in touch with me or my team through our website, or as I mentioned, I'm now a LinkedIn junkie. So if you message me on there, I'll usually respond fairly quickly.
Very cool. Thanks for being part of Pathmark Presents today.
Thank you so much.